So let's take a comfortable seat very briefly to begin our practice. Most of our breath work will be done reclined today. So you'll really have a nice connection to the earth to begin with, and then we're going to get buoyant and light through our practice. So let's just begin with the sits bones as your root on a seat, seated on a little roll blanket or cushion. Take the hands to the thighs and reach the crown of the head tall towards the sky. Your connection to the earth here is your sits bones at the bottom of the spine. The curve in the lower back is helping the spine rise up past those shoulder blades, up through the neck, a nice beautiful curve in the neck and the skull. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, feel that rooting through the sits bones. Sigh it out, any tension from your morning, afternoon, evening, just sigh it out. And now we're going to switch to our breath work on the floor. So for this breath work, I'm going to guide you through the opener. It's a really great opener for the chest, for the collarbones, and for the breath. This will make you feel lighter. So you can take a blanket and roll it up as thick as you like. If you want to lift the chest higher, you can use a block, but that's quite high for some people who haven't done it before. And you want to make sure that the back of your head is resting comfortably, so you can always cushion that too. But let's take, for example, I'll just show a really easy way. Take a blanket and hold it about, was that a few, 3 inches or so, and place it about 3/4 on towards the top of the mat. And then take the props aside. We'll be using a block. Actually, you can place the block pretty close to you. We'll use that later. Okay, sit about 3/4 of the way down the mat. Take your palms behind you and lengthen the spine first. Inhale, make a nice diagonal through the spine, supported by the hands. Exhale, begin to roll the spine down towards the earth and find that blanket with the back of your shoulder blades. Great. And you'll feel the blanket on the back of the shoulder blades, and then guide your head down to the mat. And now from here, you're going to probably have to scooch up towards the top of the mat so that you feel the shoulder sockets meeting the floor beneath you. So you don't want the shoulder sockets or the top of the shoulders floating in space. You want them rooted and melting down. So you want to step through your feet and push upward towards the top of the mat to set yourself up right. And it should feel really good. So let's not make sure there's no point of discomfort here. If you want to, say, take the blanket into a different position, settle yourself in, make it really your practice. So I like to have my roll a little higher. So I take the back of the shoulder blade and just drape myself down. And with regards to the arms, you can take them out to a T, or you can take them into a cactus. This is a restorative pose. So keep your knees bent if you'd like, with the soles of the feet on the floor. Knees bent towards the ceiling, hip width apart. Cactus arms or T arms. And then notice the rising of the chest. You really feel that filling of the chest as the air fills the lungs. And exhale, feel the rising up and the support behind the heart. So what we're doing here is passively opening up the chest so that we unround the back. This is the opposite of so many activities in our day, whether it's driving or typing, sitting and writing, or just even petting the dog. You can get hunched over, so let's undo that and come into your breath. Close the eyes, cut out the visual distractions. If you're at all uncomfortable in this pose, you can simply take the blanket away and connect with the breath. Now is the time to go within for a few moments. Inside us, we have that endless energy source, the breath. So as you begin the practice, notice your breath. Notice the quality of the breath. And as you breathe in, notice the path that the breath takes through the body, filling the lungs, the ribs expand, and you really feel that with them open up towards the sky, filling the belly. And as you exhale, the navel comes towards the spine and everything squeezes out. Give yourself permission to let go of your thoughts. Let go of the flurry of activity around you in our world. Come back to a natural breath that the human body is meant to connect to, which is a slower breath and a longer exhale. So a nice inhale and exhale, slowing and lengthening. Quench the dry points in the spine. So really, as if you were sipping in water, bring that liquid feeling, fluidity to your joints, anywhere where there's tension in that inhale. Drink it in. And then exhale, coming into a more conscious breath. Keep in mind today to coordinate your breath and your movement. We learn how to coordinate our limbs and so much of our movement, but matching the breath with that movement, whether we're going slow or fast, is something that we don't always get trained in. So let's begin that. When you feel lack of energy, go within to that energy source. Let's fill that tank now with a couple more breaths. This is supported fish pose on our aqua theme today. One nice long exhale, and then roll over onto one side, and then remove the blanket from beneath your chest, place it to the side, come back to your reclined position, soles of the feet on the floor, and knees hip width apart. Let's take the arm, and you want a block handy or a book, something pretty lightweight that you can hold between your hands. Take that to the side. First, let's set up the spine so that the skull and the sacrum are aligned. One nice long line like a riverbed. Just going up the spine. Of course, it's never perfectly straight. None of us have that perfectly straight spine. So it's a nice fluid path up the body towards the crown of the head. Notice this shape of your bones on the mat. Take the arms long next to the body. Inhale and exhale. So as you exhale, you feel that toning of the navel towards the spine. And you also notice as you imprint your sacrum on the mat, you have that natural curve in the lower back. Now we're going to take a wave bridge. So if you want to grab that block, you can do that. If you don't want to use the block, that's okay. We're going to take the arms reaching upward towards the sky, fingertips reaching up, nice long arms straight. And if you have the block, take it this width and press it between your hands as you rise up towards the sky. And notice if you start to take that block up towards the crown of the head, up towards the top of your mat, see if your shoulders stay engaged. If you feel any pain, come back. You don't have to go up that high, but we'll just take a path there above the head, noticing the shoulders rotating. And each time, let's take this slow up towards the crown of the head. If you don't have the block, you can just take your hands and reach them up above the head next to the ears, and the back of the hands will come to the floor, and you feel that length. Or you're pressing the block between your hands, and as you press the block, you're feeling the shoulders engage. So keep them supported. There are big muscles there and tiny ones that support the rotation of the shoulders. Exhale, let's bring that block up towards the sky again. And this time, as we take that block back towards the top of the head, we're gonna lift the hips up and take the arms back. So we're coming up into a bridge, another water theme here. And we're waving the bridge with the breath. So exhaling, you can snake your spine back down to our base pose. Bring the block down. We're matching the movement with the breath and the arms with the bottom of the body. Inhale, nice and long. Get that length on your inhale, filling the torso. Exhale, wave it back down, waking up the spine, warming things up. Inhale, lift the hips. Get the arms nice and long. Exhale. So here's where you can do that nice slow breath, but also get some warmth into the big muscles. Press through the feet. Exhale, one more wave. And then bring that down. And place the block to the side. And we'll take those feet. Actually, can you grab the block again? Sorry about that. Or just place the long arms next to the ears and reach the block above the head, or place the backs of the hands on the floor. So again, that length. Or a third option, if you want an easier way to go through this next pose, you can take the arms next to the body and just press the length of the arms into the floor. So that's the number one quite easy way. Or you can take the arms next to the ears or the back of the hands, or squeeze the block above the head. 3 options. What we're going to do is wake up the core. So take your mind's eye to the sacrum, and you feel it imprinting on the floor, and you feel that arch in the lower back. Now see if you can maintain that stability, that nice core strength as you lift the right foot off the floor, just a couple inches, place it down. Inhale, lift the left foot off the floor and place it down with an exhale. And alternate between the feet, keeping those knees bent, lifting, and then placing down. So as you do this, your spine might want to wiggle, or your pelvis. Try to see if you can use your core muscles to keep that evenness as the arms are above the ears, next to the ears, or if your arms are next to the body, press them into the floor for that extra added strength. See if you can take those feet a little higher and really see if you can maintain the stability there. And if you cannot, just take the feet lower. There's no pressure, no expectations. Let that go. Leave those in some other room and just follow your breath. So you'll notice, again, the arch in the lower back. Can you bring your mind's eye to the bottom of your spine, to bottom of your rib cage, the back of your rib cage, the bottom of the ribs? See if you can take those ribs a little closer to the floor, so connect through the back of the ribs. Okay, now you've engaged big abdominal muscles inside, within the body. So keep that up and see if that brings you added strength. Again, as you inhale, lengthen through the spine. Don't reach up out of the shoulders, just lengthen the spine energetically. And test your core. If you want to take the feet off the floor entirely, that's your challenge. And squeeze the block. Very nice to begin with that, you guys. Tapping into the strength. Take the feet down. Take that block over to the side now. Take the knees together. And let's take some relief into our lower backs by taking the feet out to the side and just noticing as you take the knees together, that takes some pressure off the lower back, that lightness, buoyancy. You're taking the weight off. And then you can leave the arms above the head if you'd like, long arms next to the ears. lengthening and noticing that length. Take your thumbs into your elbow creases. So your forearms are above your head, and imagine you're looking up at some beautiful clouds in the sky. And then begin to do windshield wiper legs. So you're going to take the right knee and trace the left shin towards the left foot. Keep the knee on the shin as you trace it back up towards the knee. And then take the left knee and trace the right shin down towards the right foot. Exhale and inhale just naturally and come back up along the shin, then the knees come together. So when you maintain contact with the shin, with your knee like that, you're making sure that you keep that core stability and the stability in your sacroiliac joint. Good for the lower back, in other words. And now begin to rotate, slide the shoulders slide the elbows side to side. So when my right leg goes down the shin, I'm taking my elbows over to the right. So lengthening out and coming back up, knees together, take the left knee down the right shin and take the elbows over to the left. So it's just a really subtle shift of your elbows, making more length in your side body. And then let's bring the forearms above the eyes. And we'll begin to slide the elbows side to side, and they're going to be the opposite direction of those knees. What we're doing is squeezing out the spine. And then take your head and roll it side to side, the opposite direction of your elbows. And if you have any confusion, there's no assignment here, no worries, just take whatever feels good. Your eyes can also participate here. Your eyes can watch your elbows. You'll feel some squeezing out, maybe some of those bigger hip muscles or lower back muscles stretching. All the while giving some relief to our largest nerve in the body, the vagus nerve. And then bring the knees together, drape the arms next to the body. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, connect with the earth below you. Great, and now we're going to roll over onto our left side. So let's sit like our reclined Buddha. With the, and in this case, we can take our upper arm and use a pillow for the head, bend the elbow, and notice that the two hip bones are pointing forward. So you're lengthening on the mat, inhale, and exhale, strengthening in and noticing that you're staying in that nice side position. Great. Now bend your right knee into it. Your leg's going to be into a right angle. Hand on right hip, and see if you can reach your fingertips back on that right hand and find the toes of the right foot. If not, you can simply stay in that right angle and reach that tailbone towards the bottom of the mat, and that's going to open up your quads and the front, the psoas, which is a long muscle connecting the torso and the leg. Inhale, keep that knee aligned with the spine. So you don't want to take it out to me in any direction, just keep it straight on. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, release the foot and take the legs long again. Let's take the right hand in front of the body so it's right in front of the chest, and take the palm down and press through the entire palm. Inhale, let's just lift that right leg up towards the sky, getting our swimmer legs strong. Exhale, bring it back down towards the body. And a few times inhaling up, feeling that toning through the glute there. Exhale, meet the feet together. Inhale, up, exhale, down. A couple more times. And make length the theme here, not the strength, but the length. Beautiful. And then bring those feet together. Begin to come up toward a side sit. Take the both hands to your left side, and we're going to fold the left leg in front of us and the right leg to the side. If that doesn't work for you, you can come into forward cross-legged position or kneeling, whatever works for you. But we're going to take that, take our awareness to the sits bone. Inhale. Drink in that fresh air. Exhale, squeeze it out, and notice your sits bones. Which sits bone is lower than the other? You can take a blanket under that lower sits bone to even things out. Inhale, take the fingertips beside you, grow long. Exhale, and we'll begin to twist to the left. Turn the ribs over towards the left. Then your sternum, your heart, that nice open heart, will turn over towards the left knee. Fingertips helping you rise up. Exhale as you twist. Look over your left shoulder even. And then walk the fingertips around in a nice circle around you, and we'll take a counter twist to the right. So what we're doing is lightening the load on the joints here to begin with so we can have a nice fluid practice when we stand up. Let's walk the fingertips, both sets of fingertips over to the left side, that same twist. But this time, take your fingertips and really to the side of the mat, to the top of your mat, you're gonna walk your fingertips out, and we're gonna feel that stretch in the left hip. So keep the spine long with your inhale, and with your exhale, see if you can tip and hinge forward on that left hip. Again, don't force, we're just gently opening the hip. So for me, I'm just staying long with my spine. That's important, very important, as much as coming down towards the earth. If you can straighten out your right leg, that's great. If not, no pressure. You can walk the right heel towards the back of your mat and get extra length on that right side. Inhale, let's feel the crown of the head reaching upward and towards the top of the mat. Exhaling, maybe fold a little more. You can even come down to your forearms if you'd like. Draping down so we're really connecting to our support below. One more inhale. Exhale. And then walk the hands back up, torso back up to vertical. And then take our dive down to the other side, reclined. So we're going to be on our right side. And our mermaid pose or reclined Buddha on the right side. So take the upper arm as your pillow. Lengthen the legs. Tip forward if you need to, just to remind yourself of that core strength that keeps you in balance with the right hip on the floor. And if, again, any of this is just a suggestion, if there's something you want to do instead, feel free. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, bend the left knee behind you in a right angle. And then feel the length through the tailbone. Take the left hand to the left hip. Notice the hip bone's pointing forward. And then you can grab those toes behind you if you'd like to bring that foot towards the glute, or just reach that tailbone. Lengthen and exhale, feel the stretch. On your next exhale, release that leg long. Bring the feet together. You can point or flex, whatever is your comfort. Take the left hand in front of you to extra balance, and we'll inhale that leg up towards the sky as if we're, let's say a mermaid tail. Come back, bring the feet together, inhale up. We'll just do this a few more times, reminding ourselves of those big glute muscles that support our stability. Following your breath. One more time, and then bend the knees and take the hands. Help yourself up to our other side sit. Folding the right knee in front of you. And the left side, fold it over to the side. And take your awareness of your breath again. Now that we're sitting up, tapping into that energy inside. And also notice your sits bone. Take the blanket, fold underneath that lower sit bone. So we're trying to even out the sits bones so that we have a supported sacroiliac joint. If the sacroiliac joint goes into a crooked space, then it travels all the way up the tower and we can bring some pain into the picture. So let's keep that even. Take the fingertips beside you. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, let's begin to twist to the right. So we're going to take those fingertips in a circle over towards the right. The ribs turn towards the right, the sternum, opening those collarbones. And then turn over your right shoulder. Exhaling, squeeze that air out. This is like squeezing a washcloth. So really getting out the toxins. And then walk the fingertips around that circle to the other side, inhaling as you go forward, growing up toward, exhaling, squeezing that washcloth. The other side, walk the fingertips over towards the right knee, around the right thigh, in front of the right thigh. Lengthen the spine and then drape forward, hinging at the right hip. Before any flexion, we want to lengthen. So lengthen and then see if you can bend forward. You can straighten out your left knee if that's available for you. Reaching the heel towards the bottom of the mat and then take the heel towards the back of the mat. Nothing's in the way. You can even bring your forearms down if you'd like into a sphinx arms. Really lengthening through that back heel. Bringing more fluidity to our hips. One more breath here because the hips need a little more encouragement to release. Great, bend the left knee, bring yourself back up to side sit. And then take the blanket to the side and we'll dive down again onto our bellies, into a kind of a swimming theme here. We're going to take the hands below the forehead. So make a pillow for your head and get long. And now reach the arms next to the ears. This is the opposite of what we were doing earlier. I gotta scooch back here so I can show you. Great. Okay, take the forehead to the mat. And on an inhale, let's lift the head and the right arm off the mat. And then lift the left leg. So we're matching opposite sides. Inhale, up, exhale, bring everything down. Inhale, bring the left arm and the head and the shoulder off the mat. And the right leg. Then exhale, come down. Inhale, opposite again, right arm, left leg. Come down. Lift up, left arm, right leg. Do you feel that toning through your glutes? That's the big, and then also your abdominals. So you're really getting into some big support muscles here. Continue alternating. Find your neutral again, so put everything back on the floor. And then inhale everything up. So arms and legs, hold. Lengthen first on your inhale, and on your exhale, just feel that connection and strength. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, sigh everything down. We're going to inhale up and hold everything momentarily. And then begin to swim. So paddle the feet, the legs, the arms. Feel a sense of lightness. He's trying to get back in class, I guess. And feel that lightness. Exhale down. Oh, feel the earth, or even feel like you're floating. Take the one ear to the side and roll, sway the hips side to side. So you feel, again, lightness off those hips. Inhale, exhale, side out. Beautiful. Now we're gonna switch over to our all fours position. On our way up, so we're taking the spine in a horizontal. Let's bring the knees below the hips and bring the wrists below the shoulders, or even out an inch or two to take a load off your wrists. Inhale, exhale. Feel the belly button squeeze towards the spine. So that's, again, that core strength. And then you're going to take your armpits, awareness into the armpits. Let's see if you can bring that armpit space towards the ribs. So as you bring that armpit space towards the ribs, you'll notice the squeezing in of all of those muscles around the shoulder blades. There you go, nice neutral spine here. And we'll take one cat-cow for just to celebrate the fluidity in our spine. Take the tailbone down towards the earth. Rise up through the spine, up towards the sky, and then drop the head and look at your knees. And then inhale back to our cow. Bring the tailbone up towards the sky, the navel down, squeeze the shoulder blades together and look up. And then find your neutral spine again. Curl the toes under as we come towards our standing practice. So we're going to curl the toes under, and then we're going to lift the knees off the mat and press backwards with our hands, keeping the knees bent. Stand solid through your feet. Look at your beautiful footprints on the mat. Hang the head down. So we're releasing the spine and draping it down over the thighs. And take the thumbs to the elbow creases. Head down, so if this works for you, if you have low blood pressure, just come up to a flat back. Just look down there through the shins if you can. Release the spine. Great, now you're gonna release the arms. Take the fingertips, trace the mat beside you, besides the feet, and then reach up behind you, arms long, as if you were on a ski jump. Reach long through the spine. Exhale, bring those arms down towards the feet and then up next to the ears. Sit back in an imaginary chair. Lift the ribs off the thighs and stand through your feet, nice and strong. Lengthen through the spine on your inhale. On your exhale, squeeze the navel towards the spine. One more breath through chair pose. Exhale, stand strong through those footprints and come up. Whew, and take a nice stretch upward. Now dive those hands down next to the body. And from here, we'll start our standing flow. We're going to inhale nice and tall, feet hip width apart. We're going to sway side to side. I'll show you from looking at you so you know what we're doing. We're going to take the right arm down and just drape it down the body. Right ear comes toward right shoulder. With that buoyancy, come back up to standing and exhale to the other side. So take this swaying side to side with your breath. Make a nice arc shape with that crown of the head. So we're through the spine, but allowing that connection with the other hand, the other arm down to earth, just that weighted feeling of it dropping down like a line into the water. Okay, and then come back to the bottom of your mat. Take the arms out in front of you, so as if you were reaching out to hug someone. And we're going to swim here, so take a left Take the backs of the hands together. Inhale. Exhale, sweep the arms out to the side like you're doing a nice, breaststroke. Inhale, the palms back together. And then back of the hands together. Exhale, sweep it out. Part the C's. Inhale, bring it together. Exhale. So feeling that glide through the shoulders. And then bring the arms together again in front of you. Inhale, exhale. Let's take the arms up, sigh it out, release up to the sky, anything you don't need. And then the arms come down, hands come to the hips. You want to step forward with the right foot. Keeping the hands on the hips reminds you to keep your hips even and supported. Come towards a mountain pose. Step lightly through that left foot. Your weight is going to come to the right side and we're going to come into a quad stretch. So if anybody has trouble with the balances, you can step closer to an object like a chair or a wall. It's not going to be very long in that balance, but I wanted to give you that heads up. So here we are in our mountain pose, feet hip width apart, bend the left knee into a right angle like we were doing earlier from a different position. So reach your tailbone towards the earth. So this alone gives you an opening. Or you can take your left hand and see if you can find your left foot. If not, don't push it. But let's see if we can do a quad stretch from here, reaching that left knee towards the floor. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, reach the tailbone down to our mat. Quad stretch. And if you've started to collapse the tower on the right side, squeeze the glute and keep those hips even. Release if you want, just to regain your balance. And now we're going to give a challenge toward our dancer pose, which is bending the left knee in that same right angle. And you can just stay here, or you can grab the foot and sweep the right arm next to the right ear, nice and long. The shoulder's not coming up towards the ear. Fold it down, but get long through the spine, and then begin to hinge at your right hip. I'll let go of the foot just to show you the other position, the other alternative. And I'm just tilting and hinging at that right hip forward into a balance. Nice and graceful. You can press the foot into the hand if you want to balance that way too, with that hold. And come on up with an inhale. Release the hands, hands to the hips. Take the left knee up into a right angle in front of you, all the while keeping that stability we were working on from lying down through those hips. And then take the foot out, flex the foot, feel the flex, hold the leg nice and left leg nice and long, and then point the left toes forward, tap the toes down to the earth. Sweep the toes next to the next foot and then into the beginning mountain pose. That's our flow. We're going to take the other side where we're going to visit downward dog in between. If you have issues with sciatica, I would love it if you could stay up here and just do nice long lengthening side stretches, because sometimes the flexion can be an irritant. So let's sweep the arms up above the head, take a dive forward, hinging at your hips. You can bend the knees if you'd like. Find the floor with your palms. Walk the palms towards the front of the mat. And we're going to take downward dog. So take those palms nice and wide and your fingertips. Point the index finger towards the top of the mat. You can bend the knees, bring the thighs and the rib cage together. Lengthen through the spine and begin to pedal one heel down towards the earth and then the other. So we're pedaling and feeling that opening through the hamstrings. Again, if you're up standing and just getting longer through each side bend, that's going to really help some of those long muscles for you. But you can do that here too. And take the tip toes both together, see how far down the heels will come towards the earth. And then bend the knees and walk the hands towards the feet. Keep the knees bent, keep the ribs towards the thighs. And take the hands to the hips, hinge up into a flat back, and then come on up to standing, and we're setting up for the other side. Drop the hands next to the body, and let's sway side to side again. Dipping down to the left and then the right. A few turns here to lengthen out, and yet feel that connection below you. And then take the arms up in that hug position, part the seas, exhale. Bring the hands together and apart, exhale. A release with each exhale of all the tension. Anything you don't want, just sweep it away. Great. And now hands to the hips. We're going to step forward this time with the left foot, keeping the hips even. Bring ourselves to mountain, bend the right knee into that right angle. Balance, see if that left side wants to collapse, squeeze the glute, and then see if your right hand can find those toes. If not, just keep that knee bent and balance. If you want an extra challenge, you can take the left arm next to the left ear, really lengthening. You can release here and then start over, or you can bend forward into our dancer pose, kicking your foot into the hand, or just keeping that foot released with the right ankle. Hinging at your left hip, dancer pose. I'm going to keep the gaze nice and steady. If you need to release, feel free. I just did. Playing here, part of the dance, playing with movement. Exhale, let's come down to earth again, into mountain, release everything. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale the left knee up into a right angle. Exhale, straighten the right leg like you're pressing on the gas. And then begin to bring the right toes into point. Keeping that left glute engaged to keep your hips even. Tap down with your right toes, slide along the floor, and step back to where we started. Beautiful, nice flow. I'm going to take it again with fewer cues so that you have a nice flow. Hands to hips, inhale. Exhale, step forward with the right foot. Bend the left knee. Grab the foot or take the right arm up above the head. Hinge forward, everything nice and long. Release the hands and the foot. Lift left knee up to right angle. Straighten the left leg. Point the toes, and trace back to the back of the mat, walk back. Inhale, exhale, step forward with the left. Bend the right knee. Grab the toes. Left arm up high. Hinge forward, balance. Release. Right knee up. Straighten the right leg. Point the toes. And trace back. Step back. Sweep the arms above the head. Find ourselves back in mountain at the bottom of the mat. Again, that hinge point is the top of the thighs, the hips, which are nice and open now as we dive down into our favorite body of water, like an Olympic diver. Find the floor with your fingertips and then walk them out to downward dogs. Point those index fingers towards the top of the mat. Lengthen out. Ears are between the arms. Really feel it opening through your whole spine and the back of the legs, the hamstrings. Okay, perfect. So let's take the knees down to the mat. And let's find ourselves in a reclined position with our strap handy. And you don't absolutely have to have a strap. So if you want to grab a belt or anything like that, you can do that. We're going to get our luxury into the hips here. Take yourself down to a reclined position. And then we'll take that strap, bend the knees, soles of the feet on the floor. Inhale the right knee towards your chest. Give it a hug. Circle the ankle one direction and the other. As we get more out and about, I think these days, maybe the walking muscles get a little more work. Take the strap to the ball of the right foot and raise up that long right leg, straighten up towards the sky, sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Notice your right hip, maybe it's lifting out of the socket a little bit towards the ceiling. See if you can plug it in. So even if you want to take your right hand and remind your hip to plug in downward towards the mat. If you want to take your leg into a diagonal, that's fine. You don't want to feel any pinching or anything like that. Inhale, exhale. You can take your left leg long or just bend it. Just notice that the hamstring has some probably strong sensation here. If not, you have very loose hamstrings. That's okay. Plug in the hip. Now take both sides of that strap in your right hand. Or again, if you don't have the strap, just hold the back of the leg. Open up to the right like a door. So you're pressing through the ball of the right foot. And also keep that left leg active. Take your left hand to the top of the left thigh. Imagine just something weight, like pressing down on that leg towards the floor. Open up that inner thigh on the right side. And let's travel upwards again with that right foot. And take the strap in both hands and guide the foot across the midline of the body, the heel towards the left hip. And let's say some more sensations will wake up because we're getting another hamstring stretched here. And then come back to neutral with that right foot and then bend your left knee. And we're going to roll over onto our left side into a twist. So take your left hand, grab the strap, and take your right knee towards your back of your mat. And take your right hand to the heart, and then open up to a twist, opening up your right shoulder, your right arm out to a T. Press to your left elbow and see if you can increase the twist. Unless you have some spinal disc issues, then just stay in a nice easy twist. And then maybe your right hand can find your left foot for a quad stretch. Tap into that source inside, which relieves all tension, our breath. And then release that left foot. If you have it, take the strap, guide your right foot up towards the sky again. Find your sacrum on the mat, bend the right knee, release the strap, and take both legs long on the mat. And here, close the eyes. Notice how one leg feels next to the other. You've made a difference already. Let's bend both knees. Take the soles of the foot to the floor. Inhale the left knee towards the face, hug it, and circle your ankle. And then take the strap around the ball of that left foot. Reach the sky with that foot. Straighten the left leg. Back to the breath, and take your left hand to your hip on the left side. See if you can just encourage it to come down towards the mat so you really slide the top of the femur into that hip socket. They can get really disconnected through our activity, so make sure you plug in. Slow down, plug in, and your movements and your energy will be much lighter. Now take your right leg and lengthen it on the mat if you want. Sending our relief source to the tight muscles. The inhale and the exhale. Let's take that strap into the left hand, both sides, and open up to your left side like a door. The inner thigh on the left side. Waking up. Take your right hand to the top of your right thigh, press down. Try to keep those hip bones as even as possible. And then guide your foot back up towards the ceiling. Take the strap in both hands and guide the foot, the heel of the left foot, over towards the right hip. More breath, source here. Remember, when you take this time to slow it down, listen to the muscles, listen to the connections. Other movements and activities get a lot easier throughout your day. Bring that foot back to reach the sky, and then bend the right knee, sole the foot on the floor, and roll over onto your right side, guiding your left foot. I'm going to switch over here. Hold on to that strap, press through that ball of the foot. The right knee is going to nudge towards the back of the mat. Take the left hand to your heart, lift the elbow to the sky, and guide your ribs over towards the left, to a twist. T-arms. Find the earth below you, but each inhale allows you to feel a lightness, like the heart is reaching towards the sky. With the exhale, you can connect the back to the earth, so the back of the ribs. Press the right elbow into the earth. You can lift up and settle into the twist. If your left hand finds your right foot, fantastic. That's a quad stretch too. If you reach there and point that knee towards the bottom of the mat. Soften everything. And then release your foot. And then take both hands on the strap, guide yourself back up on your back. Bend the left knee. Oh, feel that opening through the body. Take both legs long on the mat. And settle in on the mat. So the mat is as if you're floating on a raft. Maybe your favorite recreational mat you use on the pool or on a river or a lake. And settle in, feel that support beneath you. You just relax the feet out to the side, the palms up towards the sky. Take the hands, grab the mat, and pull down towards the bottom of the mat, and your crown of the head reaches up higher and longer through the spine. Release that, the palms are open to the sky. And the shoulder blades, see if you can bring them together. So you've got the warmth shining from above, imagining the sun in a friendly way, just warming the front of your body. And you've got that mat, in this case, an imaginary flotation mat below you. That water that lightens our load, just makes us feel buoyant and so much sense of support and possibility, especially when we're on a supported raft. Slip into this visualization to close our practice and spend a few moments drinking in fresh air, replenishing, exhaling out any tension that might be left in the body. Bringing your visuals to that beautiful location. Allow the sights and the sounds, the smells and the tastes of this place to come alive and affect your breath. Drink in that air through the inhale as if it were a refreshing drink of water. Notice the changes that you've made in just less than 60 minutes in your body, your mind, and your spirit. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Roll easily onto your right side. Use your inhale to float yourself back up with the help of your hands to a seated position. We meet together on the mat with our hands in prayer position in front of the heart. One more inhale and exhale, wishing you great energy throughout your day or night. Thank you so much for joining the practice with me today. Namaste.